Good evening, students. This is Professor George Maniotis. I'm your instructor for History 102 F02X, Western Civilization from 1500 to the present. This is fall semester 2024. I would like to welcome you to our asynchronous online class. What that means is this class meets entirely using the Blackboard system and Connect. There's also some other things that you need to take into consideration. That this course is an 8-week class. That means that we move twice as fast as the normal semester. So I would like to encourage you to get immersed into the course as quickly as possible. So to start, I am going to direct you to our Blackboard site. And in order for you to understand how Blackboard works, I'm going to just shift up something here on screen so you understand how all of this works. So I'm going to go back to our MCC portal. This is the MCC portal. Notice I'm an employee. You might have one that looks like a student portal here. Can't make it work, but here's our Blackboard. You click on the Blackboard tile. Now, many of you who are new to MCC and you're new to Blackboard Ultra, we are using right? And I would like you to find our course, which is this one right here. Click on that, and there you go. Now you notice that this course is set up in such a fashion where each week's worth of work is under one of these things called a learning module. A learning module is equivalent to what maybe you would have if you had a filing cabinet. A filing cabinet, you know that you have hanging file folders, and within those file folders, you may have other documents or pieces of paper. These are assignments. And notice here you have different assignments within that learning module. So I would encourage you to start with the new orientation, and I'm going to have you do the following. First, let us look at the new syllabus. So I'd like you to print this out, and you can do so by clicking on this little icon up here, and it would take you to a print view, and you can print this out. Now, as a student, you are entitled to $25 worth of free printing in the library or any of the computer labs. And I would take advantage of that. Many students don't even know they have it, they don't use it, and it really kind of works against them. But let's look at this syllabus together so we understand what our obligations are for this course. Now, as you notice, the catalog description and the time here. So we start on Monday, August 26th. We will be done by October 26th. That is to review and set up your Blackboard and such, and we'll talk about that. Now, here's our course objectives for the class. And I don't need to read those to you. You're all capable of reading those, but those are the things we're going to cover in the course. Now, other things. How do you get a hold of me? First thing you can do is by calling me. I have 2 sets of numbers. I like phone calls. I know that you don't like phone calls. You come from the generation of text messaging. I urge you not to text message me. None of those numbers accept text messages. What I would urge you to do, though, however, is to email me if you wanted to write to me, or call me and leave a message. The first number, 231-777-0364, is my office number. That is available to you day and night. If I don't answer, leave a message. That will come to me very promptly as an email attachment. The second one is my home phone number. I take calls during reasonable hours. That means every day of the week between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Please do not abuse that number. Otherwise, you'll end up getting blocked from my phone, and I won't allow you to talk to me. I don't like people that are playing pranks. Now, I have student conference hours. Formerly, these were called office hours for you students that have been here in previous semesters. These are regularly scheduled hours where I'm sitting in my office waiting for students to talk to me, to have questions answered. One that you have where you haven't answered, or you haven't asked, and all of a sudden you're doing silly things which are occupying your time. So I would urge you to ask questions. If any of these times, and I'm there on Monday and Wednesdays, 12:05 to 2:05, if any of these times don't work out for you, call me. We can set up a mutually convenient time to meet face to face. Or if you're at a great distance, we can use the Zoom system. I know I have, I think, a person or two that's taking this course across the country. Maybe they're in the East Coast or West Coast. Not a problem. I can get a hold of you using Zoom. My office is located in room 2012B. That is the Social Science Office Suite. I am the department chairman there, so everybody knows who I am. It's not like you're going to find me inaccessible. The next item that we must address is the textbook. Notice here that we use the West in the World with the Connect interface. You have already purchased this. You do not need to go racing to the bookstore looking for a textbook. You have access to this using Blackboard. You have an e-textbook, and you have the Connect system. And we're going to show you how to set that up today. Okay? Now, what are we doing for the semester? Well, these are the individual learning modules. Notice that the first week we only cover one class, that's one chapter, that's chapter 12, because we have a lot of stuff that we're trying to get you settled into. But each subsequent class, you have two or more chapters to cover. Each week, you have a smart book assignment, which is a reading assignment. And on Sundays, you usually have a quiz of some sort that's going to be due. So we will talk about those quizzes. There's 4 quizzes in the class. The first one will be September 15th. And then it's like every 2 weeks thereafter. And then we have 4 total quizzes or exams in the course. Now, you have an option, and we're going to talk about that. So how do I get assessed for this class? Each quiz, or let's call them exams. Exam 1, Exam 2, Exam 3 and Exam 4 are worth 250 points. 250 points. What you will find is these are multiple choice quizzes. Based on your textbook reading, which is also explained to you using lecture videos that I have created. So you're not going to be left out in the boonies on this one. You will also have an option. You can take, and instead of the fourth exam, instead of the final exam, which is separate by itself, and that's the week of the final week of class, and it's a comprehensive exam, you will be given a choice of either going on the experiential learning trip to the Art Institute of Chicago on Friday, October 25th, and writing a 3-page reflection report, or taking the final exam. In previous semesters, most students liked the fact that they were going on the experiential learning trip. They thought it was kind of cool. Other students, well, maybe you got too busy, there's a lot of things involved, you didn't want to go. Now, the experiential learning trip is a choice. If you go on that trip, and details will be posted, there's a $100 fee which covers the cost of your motor coach from the campus, plus your admissions to the museum in Chicago. If you were to drive there, and we do not urge you to use cars and drive individually, we will not accept that as satisfying the requirements. But if you go on the trip, you will be transported by motor coach. The whole class goes together with your instructors and other instructors from the college. And we go to Chicago. And then we spend the day there checking out the museum. We return back. You'll have 3 days to write your reflection report, and then that's it. Class is over for you. If you don't go on that, instead you will have a comprehensive final. That means chapters 15 through 31. It's going to include multiple choice, some matching, and several essay questions. Involves quite a bit of studying. Now, that's your other option. Maybe you can't get off the day, or you don't want to go on the trip. It's nobody putting a gun to your head. It's an option. You can do either A or B. That's worth 1,000 points. That's equivalent to 4 of the smaller exams. So that is due. You got to get it done. So between the 1,000 points for the 4 smaller exams, the Smart Book exercises, there's 16 of them. Those are reading exercises. Those are like equivalent to practices to a game if you're an athlete. Because just by participating, reading, and taking those, you will earn 25 points. Your purpose of those is to try to become more proficient, understand the materials, it reinforces the materials for you, etc. You get 25 points. But those need to be completed by Friday of the week that the reading is assigned. And all the readings for the course, all the material is posted well in advance. There's nothing that's going to be released Afterwards, it's all out there. You work ahead at your pace. One thing I do not accept, though, is late work. So I do caution you. You can always work ahead. You can never work behind. Now, the last thing is attendance / participation. You're going to say, well, how do you take attendance in a virtual course, Professor Maniotis? Well, by completion of your assignments, and also the way this course is structured, we log your time reading in the book, participating with the Connect, and using the Blackboard system. Each week you will have an attendance / participation grade, and it will be posted. So you will not be out in the blue thinking, well, what, have I got my attendance points? Those are worth 500 points for the entire semester. How does that work out in an 8-week class? Well, you go 8 into 500. You do the math from there. You can see how much that constitutes for a week. The total for the course is 2,850 points. You will have to make the decision of option A or B by no later than September 20th. And at that time, you will have to pay if you do decide to go on the trip. In the business office of the college, we will give you instructions on where payment happens. Now, all of this is going to be weighed out. Here's our grading scale, which is, at the end of the semester. These are the point ranges for each grade. Now, other things. Late work. I will not accept late work. I know some professors have these crazy things. If it's a week late, it's worth 80%. 2 weeks late, 60%. 2 months late, 0. I don't know. It just leads to a sliding slope. Everything in the world has deadlines. You pay your taxes by April 15th. You go to the airport. Your flight has a definite time that it takes off. You don't go 2 hours later and expect the same plane to be there. That plane's already left and you've missed your flight. So I would urge you to work ahead, plan ahead. Now, things happen. Oh, I fell sick. I was hospitalized. Yeah, okay. Let me know. We'll work things out. Death of an immediate family member. Yes, that could be very devastating. And I will ask you to come up with an obituary or service program, something that will indicate to us that something happened to an immediate family member. We will ask for proof. I'm a very compassionate guy. I like to work with students, and I want students to be up on top of things. Now, finally, I've listed here that this takes about 6 to 10 hours a week. It could take you longer. If you read, slower, you're not as organized, it's going to take some time. This course is quite involved. So it's a 4-credit class. So be prepared to work and work ahead. Don't dilly-dally. This is the time for planning and structure. And I, as your instructor, am going to help you. But if I asked you to come in and see me, I'm not trying to make you feel bad or trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help you so you successfully pass and do well in this course. And I am more your guide than your, just your scorekeeper here. So I want you to understand that, okay? So print this out, put it in on file with yourself, make sure you have it available, okay? Now, the second item, and this is important, I'd like you to participate in posting your student profile. Now, as you'll notice, I've taken the following set of questions. I've crafted my profile, and posted my little photographs out here. There's some of my little four-legged children. I also have three two-legged children that are much, much older than many of you. And, here they are. I would like you to post your profile by no later, and I'm going to amend this. I would like this done by September 6th. So get this done by September 6th so we can have you post your profile so we know that you are part of our course, that you're hitting things, getting things done, okay? You have all your work in and you're ready to go by the 6th. All right, now, final item here. Would like you to venture ahead here. And post, instead of posting, I would like you to access the SmartBook assignment here and set up your textbook. Now, how this works, and this is very interesting. I'm going to show it from your perspective. When you launch into this, after you've registered, you get this little dashboard. It shows the individual chapters. It gives you an estimate of time, what it's going to take you to read and synthesize this. And then you're going to do a series of questions. Okay, so here's the reading. Our first week, our reading is on faith, fame, and fortune. We're going to be looking at the Western European explorers to the New World, people like Vespucci, Columbus, Hudson, and others, Cortez. And we're going to be examining how they got involved. What were the motivations of their respective countries? Spain, Portugal, England, and etc. So you're going to read this. Now, you can scale this to be bigger text, smaller text. You read on screen here. Now, some of you are voice people. You like to have things read to you. Well, here you
12.
go.
Faith, fortune, and fame. European expansion.
That's kind of nice because if you download, and I'm going to show you how to do that, you can download the book. You can play this in your automobile if you're commuting to school. Might help you. Instead of listening to, Taylor Swift for the 17th time of the day, you can listen to your book and be able to study as well. And that helps. Okay. Now, after you've read, and there's, several sections to this chapter here. And you can scroll forward, backwards, side to side. Now, this yellowed area is not me. That's the publisher that believes these are key concepts. In many ways, they are, and they're important. You might want to pay attention, but just don't read the yellow things. Read the whole chapter, because just reading the highlights is not going to help you. Now, after completing the reading, you go to the questions, and you notice that there's going to be 59 concepts covered by the SmartBook, and this is the SmartBook exercise. So you go through this, and you make a selection, and it's going to ask you to rate your confidence. How well do you think you know it? I'm going to say medium. I think I know this pretty well. Oh, there you go. I submitted. I got it correct. Now I went to the next question here. Maybe I don't remember it so well. Well, there I go. Now I'm going to intentionally blow one. Now you notice here, I can go back to the book to explore what the right answer is.